basically you reported the first decline in revenue in 13 years. A lot of analysts are telling us you're paying the price for letting the organization grow too big and too complex. You've been in charge for a short while. How do you plan to refocus and regroup?
It's true. I think just the first thing I take note of is really that, yes, revenue declined, but our consumer sales, so the actually consumer purchases of Lego actually stayed flat over the years. So a lot of when we talk about cleaning up inventories, it's actually because in 16 we built inventories in the retail. Now in 17 we took it down, and that actually marks the decline in revenue. So you can say the actual consumer sales of Lego is at the same level. So we have a strong foundation. And we actually ended the year pretty strong, so we had a good in-season. We were on the top of children's wish list in many of the big markets. We remained there. We even built some of that position in some of the big markets. So we come in now to 2018 in a good fashion, and we'll use that to build the foundation and invest in what it takes to actually get back on a growth journey.
But what does that mean in terms of, your focus? I know a couple of years ago you had Frozen Lego, that sold very well. Then you had Batman, that was less, to investors' appetites. And then Star Wars was also not as a good seller as you thought it was. So do you go into video games from now more aggressively, or do you stay with the little bricks but go on to different products?
Oh, we definitely stay with the little brick, as you say. That is an amazing brick. And the power of that brick is really as high and as relevant as it has ever been. But of course, we'll build things around that. And you talked about movies, you talked about video games, and I guess it's a yes and a yes. We don't only do movies to just sell products. We also do movies, or primarily actually do movies, also to promote the brand and get the play experience of Lego, this unique experience, into the hands and into the knowledge of many parents. And of course kids around the globe. So we will still be doing a lot of that. We may not have movies every year, or there'll be different movies. So that's not really what we are dependent on in terms of our product sales.
Okay, are you happy with the simplification and the reduction of the organization so far, or do you have to do more?
No, I think I'm happy with what we have achieved so far in that sense. I think from here, the simplification and the focus and the power will really come from also us being quite clear on our priorities, and I think we are that right now. We're going to drive a few priorities pretty hard. We'll actually give more power to the people closer to the action, so that we can react faster in countries closer to sales, so that we can get more creativity out of our innovation departments. We have an amazing crew of passionate and innovative people, and unleashing and unlocking that creativity and making that flow into products and marketing, I think is going to be key for our success going forward.
The reality is you have to go against the giants in America. The toy industry is, goes back and forth every Christmas season in America. How are you going to compete with Hasbro? How are you going to compete with Mattel?
I think that's nothing new. I think we've had a long history of competing with the two, forward? And of course also a lot of other companies. No, I think the plan is really to win long term by being more creative and building our play experiences, building around the brick, and continue to build this relation between digital and physical. We have a lot of solutions. Maybe just bring to mind the Lego Boost that we have launched at the second half of 17, that actually allows children down to third grade actually building things, kind of building robots, building guitars that can play, building cats that can sing or speak out of a robot, and program it in a very simple programming language all the way from there. And it will actually help them to move all the way into secondary school, into gymnasium, or high school, or even into university, and supporting that. So I think we have some really interesting things around learning and around the brick.
Over the week, maybe the last 2 weeks, sir, I read an exceptionally kind review of the Lego movie, saying it was incredibly smart, etc. You've done a great job of leveraging the brand, which means everybody wants to buy you. Explain to our global audience how the private company digests the many offers you get from bigger, larger toy manufacturers.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think this is a privately held company. It's been here for 85 or 86 years, and it's never been up for sale. The family here wants to run this company for a long time and really want to develop it for 50 years ahead. And that actually goes into a lot of the decisions we do. We don't do decisions only for the short term. We actually do decisions that promotes the brand, that gets our play experience to a lot of more children around the globe in the long term. That's also why 2018 is going to be the year where we solidify our foundation and we invest and build so that we can get back on the growth curve going forward. And I think we may have some advantages there, being privately held and being held by an owner and a family that really wants Lego to be successful for the long term.
Mr. Christiansen, a lot of the talk today on air is about tariffs. Do you worry about protectionism? Tariffs on your company would mean what? On your products?
I'm not too worried about that discussion as such. I think in general, we believe that free trade is a good thing and that tariffs are not good. I don't think we are that dependent on that. If you think about the U.S., we're in the U.S. to promote the BRIC and our play experience to all the children in America, and it's less so for tax reasons or tariff reasons.